Good afternoon. So it's Robert Giorgione for robertgiorgione.com, your friendly roving sommelier. I'm here at Andaz Hotel with a winemaker from Australia. This is Dan Buckle, the chief winemaker from Mount Langi, Ghiran. Dan, we've just had a vertical tasting of your wonderful wine. You're over in town for a few days. Tell us a little bit about Mount Langi, Ghiran, and your background and what you've been doing.
Well, I've been making wine at Mount Langi for the last 8 years. Before that I was working for the same family but in the Yarra Valley, and I sort of fell into winemaking, I suppose. I had a misspent youth. I was an art student for a long time, and during that time I was working in pubs and restaurants to pay my way, and that sort of gravitating towards the wine side of the world and more interest in that. So when I finished my honours year, I was working in a restaurant, and I thought I'll jump straight in and do an applied science degree in wine and see where that takes me, and I'll never look back. So it's been a really gratifying thing because you get to make stuff and you get to travel a bit, and it's a real interesting balance between the production and science side of my work and the more artistic and creative. And I find that really nice sort of balance somewhere in the middle of that.
So 2004 was your first vintage. How did you end up at Mount Langi, Ghiran? What was your journey?
The Rathbone family, when they bought Mount Langi, shortly after that they asked me to come and work at Mount Langi. I said no, I don't want to work there, it's too cold, far away from Melbourne. I had this great flat. But then Doug Rathbone rang up and said, you better go and take this offer seriously. So I went and I drove in the gate. It's a very imposing place. There's a real sense of place about Mount Langi. It's the mountainside itself and the rocks of the granite of the mountain. It's quite striking. And driving in the gate, and I just thought, wow, this place is awesome. And they have these really old vines, and then looking at that vineyard and then tasting the wine in barrels, and it occurred to me what a terrific opportunity this place was. And I suddenly had a head full of ideas about how to make wine there and what we might do and how it could get possibly better and different, and I sort of jumped straight in.
And what's your favourite type of wine? What would be your desert island bottle of wine?
Desert island bottle of wine would have to be probably Domaine de la Romanée-Conti Pinots. Any of those would do. I like Côte Rôtie, reds. It depends if it's hot on the desert island, and if I have to eat a lot of fish, I suppose that would change my attitude. Failing that, Grand Marque champagne from Salon or Krug would be some of the most complex and hedonistic expressions of grape things. Pinot Noir, ultimately, from the Côte de Nuit, is, I think, one of the most satisfying, and without pointing to any specific vineyard, there's just so much there, and it's so intriguing. It's just assuming it's not swelteringly hot on the desert island. I think that'd be my pick.
Thanks very much, Dan. Great opportunity to chat with you. And thanks once again for the tasting this afternoon. And I've been a big fan of your wines for many years. Thanks once again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.